Greetings from the blue carpet at the GLAAD Media Awards. Let's check in with Jenny Boylan. How are you this evening?
I am fan-bloody-tastic. How are you?
I'm really good. Now, have you been to the New York GLAAD Media Awards before?
Well, in fact, I am the chair of the board, so I've been many times. This is a very special year for us. I think this is going to be our best show ever. We have Robert De Niro, we have Mariah Carey, we have Diane Sawyer and Caitlyn Jenner, but more importantly, you have me.
And you are with the team that's officially nominated for Best Reality Show. How exciting.
I am with that team, but then again, more importantly, I'm the chair of the board, and so it's my job to keep the lights on here and to do all the work that accelerates acceptance throughout the year. And we have a fabulous staff, including our CEO, Sarah Kate Ellis, and it's my job to keep her on her toes, and it's her job to keep me on mine.
Now, Jenny, if we could drop the word work, what's the most fun part of bringing acceptance and equality and the information forward that's not work, but does the same amount of quality effort in expanding our society?
Well, I don't know if it's fun, but there's certainly joy in the work. Look, when I came out as transgender 15 years ago, it was like I'd made the whole thing up. I had to explain to people what it meant. Somebody wanted to know, well, wait, does that really mean you're like super gay? In fact, no, I'm not. Well, maybe I am super gay. Maybe that's what it is. But now, transgender identities are all around the media. Now, my son can bring a transgender friend home for Thanksgiving and not even tell me because it's not a big thing. People are free to live the lives that they love in this country now. We can live, increasingly, our lives with joy and acceptance and to be seen as one more way of being human. And that's very joyful, and that inspires me, and I'm very glad to do it.
Now, Jenny, who would you like to give credit to before us, the pioneers that led the way for this equality to happen for transgendered Americans and folks around the world, because they look at us and we are sort of the expansion of other societies, even if we don't live there. So who would you like to give credit to?
There are a lot of people that we should shout out to, including Sylvia Rivera, but the person I'll shout out to is Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde, who lived an openly gay life at a time when you can, and he did go to prison for it.
Yes. Numerous times.
Oscar Wilde, who said, "Be yourself. Everyone else has already taken it."
Now, speaking of self, I have a quick question for you about the show. There seemed to be an uphill for you to go to a drag show, and then you went to support Candace and your friends. How do you feel about drag and trans communities connecting? Are they different, or are we the same?
It wasn't really uphill. It was important for me that people know that these are overlapping worlds, but they're not identical worlds. And as long as people understand that my issue is not female impersonation, my issue is being female. If people understand that there's a difference between that, then I think we can all get along just fine. And drag is great. Drag is wonderful, and I've always loved drag and drag communities. I've been to drag shows long before I went to IMK, and it's an important and joyful, celebratory part of our community. And it's not my identity in the same way that being a gay man is not my identity. But I'm fighting for gay men. I'm fighting for lesbians. I'm fighting for trans people. I'm fighting for genderqueer and gender non-conforming people and queer people of every stripe. So it's a big, big community. I occupy my own identity as one tiny little person, but we are all in a much bigger fight, and that's the fight for equal protection under the law, and to live the lives that we love, and to have fun on a night like tonight.
Jenny, last two questions. First, is there anything I didn't ask you that you'd like to talk about? And the last real question is, where would you like to see equality in the future? What do we still need to be advantageously trying to change? And also anything that I didn't ask you that you'd like to talk about.
Oh, I'll just cut it short. Look, people need to know the work is not done. The passage of marriage equality, I think, made people feel complacent, perhaps. And if marriage was your only issue, maybe the work is done. But now that we've achieved this, I think there's a lot of blowback. The transgender community is kind of having its Prop 8 moment, where we've made so much progress that now people are pushing back. So I'm hoping that this moment of public blowback will lead to everyone being galvanized, getting enthused, and coming together to fight for equality. Because if we're talking about transgender children, we're talking about vulnerable people who deserve to be protected by the adults in their lives, by the grown-ups, and that means all of us. So we need to know that the fight for acceptance is still going on. As the historian Barbara, it wasn't Barbara Stockman, I'm forgetting her name, but she said of the Civil War was won by the North, but in some ways it's still not over. We're still fighting for equality in this country for all different kinds of people, and because the Civil War is still going on, it can still be lost. So we can win it with love and kindness. Thank you.
I love you. Thank you, Jenny, for your time. Happy Media Awards.